everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Hello Spring podcast. I am your host, Steven. You may know me as Spring Sims on the internet. Today, we're going to be diving deep into the world of charity fundraising and the power of creators using their platform for good. Today's guest is Izzy Stroud, who is the social media and the community manager at Tiltify, a platform that has made it possible to raise over $500 million for charity to help creators to raise money for their favorite charities all around the world. From seeing massive campaigns like Ryan Trahan's 50 States, 50 Days journey that has raised over $11 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, to working daily with nonprofits and creators from all sizes, Izzy has seen firsthand how social media and community can change lives. We'll talk about what makes digital fundraising so impactful, to the misconceptions of nonprofits sometimes have about creators, and what's next for Tiltify. Plus, we'll wrap up things with some fun rapid fire questions. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Hey, Izzy, welcome to the Hello Spring podcast for season 2. I'm so excited to bring you on and chat with you, learn more about Tiltify, more about you, and just more about everything in between. But how are you doing?
Hi, I am actually doing really great. Everything is kind of coming up roses, and it's just been a good time all around.
That's good. I feel like honestly, because we were talking about this like before we had started recording, but I feel like 2025 has been like it's been good, but weird at the same time. Like last year was crazy, but this year is like much, much better.
I feel like this year it's a lot easier to recognize the positive points and recognize that the positive points happen a lot more frequently than we sometimes give it credit for. And I feel I'm observing that a lot of people are appreciating that a little bit more this year. And that's just kind of adding all this momentum of positivity all around.
Yeah, I can feel that in the air for sure. Cause I don't know, like this year has been like the best year I've had thus far, and I've seen so many great things on the Tiltify side. Like you all have done so many amazing things, so many big milestones, big announcements, and I'm just like, this is like great. I just love it.
It's definitely an exciting time to be in the Tiltify sphere. It's one of, if not our best year ever since we started 10 years ago. I know it's been the best and most fulfilling year of my entire career. I cannot say enough positive things about Tiltify during the year of 2025, and I'm just very excited to be on board for it.
Oh, I'm so glad. We'll definitely talk more about that in the podcast. But I would love to know, for the people that don't know you, can you give us a little bit of like an elevator pitch of like what Tiltify is and like what your role is and like just like a bit who you are?
Yes, so I am the social media and community manager for Tiltify. Tiltify is a digital fundraising platform that within the last 10 years, we have facilitated over $500 million for global nonprofits. We partner with over 6,000 charities across the globe. And our main focus is providing digital tools that are accessible for people that want to make a difference, whether it be for charity, for mutual aid, for emergencies or personal needs, and make it accessible and fun and interactive. And my role in that is I interact and support fundraisers directly. So whether it's communicating through social media or writing resources via blogs or support articles, that's kind of where I am. I like to be, or I should say, my unofficial title that has been bestowed upon me is fundraiser hype woman, and I wear that title very proudly.
Yes, you are. I see you all the time on social media hyping people up, whether it's their first campaign, their 10th campaign, or whatever milestone they've achieved. It's just so inspiring because like charity is everything. I feel like whether you raise $1, $10, $10,000, $1 million, it all adds up to something great. And I think personally, people who are listening or just people who want to get into the charity space, I think you have to use your platform for good, but also just like don't feel discouraged all the time. Like, hit that milestone wherever it's at and, pat yourself on the back because you did that.
No, for sure. I mean, I swear I will tell anybody that the moment just making the decision to create a campaign at all makes you a hero. Like that is an action that you are taking to better the world, to make a difference for this charity, to make a difference for your community. So that alone, I hope that everybody that hits create a campaign is proud of themselves, because they should be. And then that snowball effect of creating the campaign, talking about it, fundraising your first dollar, fundraising your 100th, 10,000th. It's all such an amazing experience from the moment that you hit create a campaign. So if you're afraid to hit that button, just do it, because the world is going to reward you in so many wonderful ways, because you are choosing to take this action to make the world a better place.
I agree. But like, what drew you into the world of like digital fundraising and like the creator space? Like, was it something you've always saw yourself doing, or was it like someone that like talked to you about it?
So it's very funny. I notice often throughout my day to day work life, I'll notice a habit or something that I'm doing that I realize that's something that when I was a child, I wished that I could do in my future career. And so it's an accumulation of all these moments of my life that have led me here. I did Relay for Life with my dance team when I was in high school. I got started in social media because of a video game club that I was in. And it's kind of all these little things, this little almost train of events that happened to get me here. And it's crazy to look back and be like, oh, that was the start of something. That was the springboard that led me here.
Mm, I really like that. And you mentioned Relay for Life, and I remember that my mom had did Relay for Life, and I just when you learn something about a charity, it makes you want to learn more about them, go deeper
Hmm.
with it, and especially when you have like a personal connection to it, it really like pulls on the heartstrings, and it makes you feel like you are making a change for good. And I like that you have like a connection to that, and you also have built something more for yourself to get into the creative space, to join Tiltify and hype people up and really make a big difference on the creator space, because I feel a lot of people never know where to begin, how to do, and like why use their platform and how can they do it properly.
Hmm. No, it's kind of fun how digital content creation has become this huge thing, and it's ever evolving. I mean, content creation today is very different than it was even 6 months ago.
Oh,
And
definitely.
so to stay on top of it and to stay involved, it is a lot of time and effort, but it's also, you're building these communities, you're building this tight knit group of people that, they're clinging to this cause, to this charity, because you're championing it. And that is just a beautiful, beautiful feeling to see communities come together. I love scrolling through comments and seeing, I'm so glad that you're doing this. This is really impactful. I relate to this. And, it's cool to see and it's cool to experience.
I agree. And I think you can agree with this, like fundraising has been happening since I feel like the dawn of time,
Hmm.
and it's only evolved even more as new spaces are, or more people are coming into these spaces, but also these new inventions and new platforms, and it's forever changing. And I think a lot of times, like, we always go back to the basics of word of mouth. Without like
Hmm.
social media was not a thing, I feel like, I don't know, like 20, 25, 30 years ago. And everyone just did it like word of mouth, posters, flyers, like start from somewhere that feels comfortable for you. If you're not too tech savvy, not for social media, but you are online, put those things out into your community. It does wonders.
One of my favorite, or two of my favorite types of campaigns that don't have to do with live streaming are Discord communities. I know a lot of
Mm,
subreddits, their Discords will do campaigns. So I think r/plants did one. Real Madrid, the football team, their Discord servers done some fundraising. And A lot of Reddit people will say, "Hey, I created this resource. If you want to say thank you, maybe drop a couple dollars to my Tiltify campaign." And I just want to make sure that people realize you don't have to be a live streamer, you don't have to be a YouTuber to make a difference. If you are online in the digital community, you can make a difference with your community.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Because everyone has ways of fundraising that feels right for them. And like you
Mhm.
said, Discord, Reddit, um, sometimes just out in person. Like, because what I love about Tiltify is that you have this platform that gives us all the tools that we need. And people who aren't not live streamers but prefer doing in person things,
Mhm.
QR codes are a
Yes.
literal game changer. Literally take your phone, pull up the camera, scan it, and it takes you right to the donation link. That it's so easy and so simple that you can print it out saying donate to X, Y, and Z charity for this gala event or whatever. And it's right there. So that's like the number one thing that I find so huge. Like you have other things on the platform, but I feel like the QR code is like so huge.
I've heard stories of, say, small businesses or restaurants, your local mom and pop shops that at the checkout counter, they'll have the QR code posted. So say,
Mm.
hey, do you want to donate to this charity during your checkout without like kind of the craziness that happens on some of them? And
Mhm.
yeah, they just scan the QR code and they show their support that way. And it's real easy. And it's just cool to see all the different ways that the tools that our team has made being used both online and offline.
Yeah, and it's so cool. I cannot wait to see what you all end up doing in the future. But I did want to ask you another question. Is that since you have like the front row seat to so many amazing things and inspiring and emotional like moments of fundraising, like what's your day in a life like behind the scenes of your job?
Yeah, so I learned early on I'm pretty big on having a regular schedule and boundaries throughout my normal
Mm-hmm.
week. So, I wake up, do my morning meditation, I'll check my emails, and then spend some time, Discord messages, PMs, everything I address those. Uh, After lunch is usually when I have a lot of meetings, whether with coworkers or charities or whatnot. And then in the evening, or I'm sorry, at 3, I have an alarm go off on my phone, and that is my time to go spend some time outside.
Mm.
Sit on the patio, whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If it's a beautiful day, I'll bring out my iPad and work from outside. And by that time, it's usually engagement for me. That's what I'm looking through comments and commenting back and kind of reposting and sharing everything. And then by then, dinner time, I usually try to dedicate the rest of the evening to my friends and family. I'll still have the platforms pulled up, but it might be an hour before I check something, unless it's an urgent day or there's something big going on. During those days, I'm pretty much glued to my desk for 10 plus hours, but it's good to have balance. It's good to have variety. And, every week at the end of the week, I can say that I'm very pleased with everything that happened.
Mm. That sounds like a good balanced schedule. I think everyone needs that. Like you said, you have an alarm that goes off at 3 to just spend some time outside. If it feels nice, you'll take your iPad, and I think that's something that people should always do. Even me, I need to take you. I need to take your. I need to do that myself. Set an alarm, go outside, sit out on like the patio, and just like relax.
It
But
really ended up being a game changer for me because even 10 minutes outside, sometimes I take my phone, sometimes I don't, depending on how much I need to detach or kind of take a screen break. But I've learned that the days that I don't do my 3 p.m. outside, I feel a little deregulated. I feel a little bit more anxious. So that kind of stepping away, that breath of fresh air that reinvigorates me, and I highly recommend it to everybody. I know kind of the big meme is, do we need to touch grass more? And
right.
So I've made it a priority to get a little bit of vitamin D each day. And I feel it's really helped me keep consistent and keeps my sanity, if you will.
Yeah. No, that's very important. I feel like I need to do that more. I've been reading more lately, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been taking like that extra time saying I'm going to read for 1 hour a day if I can. If I can't, that's okay. I do it the next day. Um,
Right.
so that's taking time for yourself to get out of the hustle and bustle and the craziness of whether it's your job or wherever. It's important to have that me time.
Mm-hmm. And especially, I know a lot of like content creators are going to be listening to this. Burnout is a very real thing.
Yes,
And so taking that time for yourself, I will say to my husband when we share an office, I'll just say out loud, I need a screen break because, the fatigue, the sitting in your chair for so long, it's good to shake it up.
it is. It is definitely. And I actually think like what advice would you give to like small nonprofits, community managers, creators who want to tap into this space but feel too overwhelmed with it?
I would say try to identify the parts of your job or your work that bring you joy. The things that you get excited to do, that when you do them, you just feel on top of the world. And try to prioritize making that a consistent part of your work. So for me, my favorite thing to do is engagement. I love commenting, I love sharing. And so I make it a priority to try to do that for as long as possible throughout my day. So that is the part that takes the longest of my day. And it's the part that brings me the most joy. So find the moments that bring you joy because they will far outbalance the stressful parts, the nitty gritty, what am I doing?
Yeah, that's very true. And I think a lot of people, they all have their own whys of like
Mm-hmm.
why they create, why they started this nonprofit, why they love doing community management. And I think it's all about finding that passion for it.
And
And
making time for that passion. I think a lot of
exactly,
people lose that sometimes. And so making time for the passion, making time for the joy, it goes a long way.
it does. And because you don't want your work to feel like work. You want to, because like what I've learned as like just from a creator standpoint is that when my content creation feels like work, then I have to step away
Mm-hmm.
to evaluate like, why am I doing this again? Am I doing it for money? Am I doing it for followers? I'm doing it because it's my passion of like
Mm-hmm.
storytelling, and it's what I enjoy. And I think that's what a lot of critics need to take a step back and realize like, what is your why?
Exactly. Just the idea that, oh, I'm sorry, I lost my thought.
Oh no, it's all good.
No, the idea that, oh my God, I lost it. I am so sorry.
No, you're all good.
Okay. Could you repeat the question? I'm so sorry.
Um it was about like how creators need to know and understand like why they're doing these things.
Yes. So the why you're doing it, the what is it that gets you out of bed? I know that every week when I meet with my boss, he'll say, what do you have going on this week? And I will list a laundry list of all these crazy, sometimes stressful or busy or time occupying things. And I'll list them all. But I always end up saying at the end, but I'm having fun.
Mm,
And I know that that last sentence, but I'm having fun, if I lose that, that's when I need to address, hey, why am I not having fun? Where did the spark go? What do I need to address?
yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Um So with your job, like you do a lot of community management and social media, and it's like Discord, Reddit, Twitter, Instagram. It's a lot going on. Like what makes social media like a powerful tool for fundraising, especially for reaching like new and younger audiences? Because I find with social media, it's forever evolving. I mean, TikTok it still feels new to me after a
Hmm.
couple of years and Blue Sky and all these different places, but like what makes it a powerful tool for fundraising?
So when I saw this question, I thought about back in the 1900s, as they
Yeah.
say. If you wanted to tell a celebrity or the president or somebody that you were a fan of them, that you cared about them, or that you wanted to get their attention for something that you were working on, you wrote a letter. And that letter may or may not have ever been read by them. Social
Mm,
media is the opposite of that. I know that all of us that have hundreds of comments, we read almost every single one of them. I will have a post that is 400 comments deep, and I will read almost every single one of them if possible. So, your words on social media do get eyes on them, and it's free. And that opens a whole world, and it's up to us to figure out how are we going to use this free tool that to communicate what we want to say.
mm. That's true. Cause I mean, you sign up, make an account, and then you have access to
Mhm.
billions of people around the world. They may not like respond, but they see it. It's all about because I always learned like what I learned is I believe it was Ebonics from what I learned is that impact over numbers
Mhm.
because
I
you can have a billion followers around multiple platforms or one platform, but it's that 1% of the audience will really see that and like grasp at and it's like the impact that you made is like putting those words out on social media.
Yeah, I was reading recently on a marketing newsletter of how the quiet audience,
Mm,
that, you know, 3% of people that see your post may engage with it, 1% may comment, but don't forget that 97% that they may have resonated with what you wrote or what you posted. They may actually really love it. It may have made their day. So don't forget about them. Know that that is actually a very important part of your audience, even though you can't visibly see, you know, what they are saying about you.
right. That is very, very true. Because some people just don't want to respond and not comment, but they take that and resonate with it the best way possible.
Hmm. And they're going to carry it with them. Who knows? Maybe it was a stream that they were lurking in, that they learned about a new charity. And then they go tell their friends and family, oh, hey, I heard about this new charity. Let's get involved. And then that ripple effect
Mm,
goes beyond, you know, I've seen it go beyond my wildest expectations almost every single day. So do not be wary if you don't get the likes or the comments, because it is so important.
yeah, I agree. And like, how do you approach like balancing all that like education and promotion and celebrations that people have like for big and small milestones when it comes to like the Tiltify's like online presence? Because there's a lot that happens on Tiltify, and I feel like there's always something always happening. And like, how do you balance all of that?
Yeah, so I subscribe to the social media strategy that is known casually as vibe posting. I am
Hmm.
very reactive to the community. I am very observing, what is everybody talking about? What is everybody excited about? What do people seem to be having questions about? And so I react to that. And, sometimes I have some banked projects or ideas. We have upcoming releases or something that they do have content that I'm going to share, but I try to make sure it's at the right moment so that it'll have
Hmm.
not only impact and not be lost to the void, but that it's actually helpful in the moment.
Hmm. That's a very good thing to keep in mind. Hmm. Vibe posting. Never really heard about that. So that's actually kind of cool.
It's kind of the casual term, as social media is it's in itself a very new career field. There's kind of been some segments of different strategies, and I have found that vibe posting is what works best for me and for Tiltify's community, so it ends up working out.
Yeah, that's very true. And I definitely see it quite a bit. Everyone's I'm on like on socials, I'm like, ah, there's Tiltify. Let me respond.
I love
Oh,
engaging. It's so heartwarming. And I mean, social media, especially Twitter slash X, it's known for being a very negative social media platform. It's known for a lot of its negative comments. I somehow have created a following and commenter community on Twitter that every time I open it, it is positive, it is happy, it is, worthwhile. And so I love the culture that has been created amongst content creators that fundraise.
mm, yeah, I can see that because like my page is also kind of like that too. It's a mixture of a lot of things, gaming, positivity, art. It's all over the place, but it feels
Mm-hmm.
wholesome. And I think I'm curating my platforms to reflect that.
Yes, I curation of your own social media is a chore, but I believe it has long-term effects that are very positive. The fact that I now really recently I have gotten it to that even my for you page on Twitter is purely fundraising and positive moments. So that was a fun victory that I noticed this week.
Oh, lovely. I like that. Now, on the topic of social media, like what is your like did you ever use Vine?
I did not use Vine. I admit Vine was not for me,
Mhm.
which is sacrilegious to be a social media manager that was not in love with Vine. But I also have subscribed for the if you're posting content, let it have more value than something that's going to be forgotten about 10 minutes later.
That's true. And I feel like Vine at its prime, it was like only like literally 6, 7 seconds, and
I
that's
think it
not a
was six
lot.
seconds. Yes.
Yeah.
6 seconds to make an impression, which many of them were very successful at that. But
Hmm.
I was like, what's the long term impression? What's the long term game? Because back then it was also a lot harder for these creators to establish a career off of just Vine.
Yeah, that's true. It's like I always say this, never put your eggs in one basket. Like if
Hmm.
you have one platform and that platform goes away, what do you have?
Yes, diversify your community and just make sure that you have backup plans, make sure that people remember you for the right reasons.
Right. That is very true. Well, on the topic of charity, as we always do, what you mentioned Relay for Life, but what was your first time personally fundraising for a charity?
So, besides Relay for Life, it was actually Hurricane Harvey relief in
Oh,
2017. It was my first time using Tiltify.
oh,
At the
nice.
time, I was a casual, but as you are like a Twitch streamer, I had my community. I had the game that I focused on, which was Heroes of the Storm. And, I'm from Texas. I have many friends in the Houston and Southeast Texas area. So when Hurricane Harvey hit, it was very devastating. And, what can I do to help my community, to help the community? A friend of mine in the Heroes of the Storm community, Nelstar, had put out on Twitter that he wanted to put together a Heroes of the Storm, marathon to help. I immediately was like, let's do this. And we ended up with a 72-hour marathon that raised $15,000 for Hurricane Harvey relief.
Oh, wow.
And ever since then, Nelstar and I have still been working towards fundraising. I want to say we're over a quarter of a million now for St. Jude Play Live season.
That is really, really cool.
Yeah, we've
And it,
we've come a long way, and it's very surreal to see where I am now compared to that first post that I saw.
see, you never know. Like you said, you never know who is watching.
Hmm.
Look. You never know who's looking at your posts, your comments, or anything. But it's like taking that one leap of action, saying, "I want to do that. Sure,
Hmm.
why not?" Well, I honestly have to say, like, my first experience ever fundraising on Tiltify was, I believe it was for St. Jude. That was like my very first ever fundraiser, and it was very exciting because I didn't know what I was doing back then. I didn't know much about fundraising, but I felt Tiltify made it very easy to set up campaigns and set up everything at the time when I started fundraising, and it was so surreal of the genuine like impact of my community, of like what we were able to do, and I was blown away. And especially putting a group of people together to for one cause, because impact over numbers, but like you have like so many people and they all come together and you raise so much money. It's like, what is happening? This is great. This is lovely.
I'm getting goosebumps listening to this story.
like like when I first set up my team campaign for Hope for Haiti, this was like back in, I think, oh my gosh, like 2020. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. And this was like, well, I guess like my first instance of like wanting to help somebody other than like just genuine people, but like a whole like place, whole country.
Hmm.
Haiti, well, they back the earthquake back in like 2011. I was like, I don't know why I feel this way, but I wanna help in some type of way, but I just don't know how. And back then I didn't have a platform and I didn't know what to do, but I just knew how to do something. So I planned out like this whole little thing on a sheet of paper. I didn't follow through with it because I just felt a little bit discouraged. But I think it stuck with me all these years that I now have this platform on the internet. I'm gonna do something about it. I'm going to find a way to help, and so I reached out to the CEO. Well, went to their website contact form, and then CEO sent me an email and then a text and then called me, which I thought was very sketchy at first. Um, and so we kind of set all the things up, told them about Tiltify, and now they're on Tiltify. And I think a lot of people, what they need to learn is that you all really help these non-profits and you set them up for success. And I think it's so important that if a creator doesn't see like their charity on Tiltify and they prefer using Tiltify, have them, have the
Send an
charity reach out
email,
to
send an
Tiltify.
email, send a
Exactly.
tweet. But honestly, because of the way that Tiltify is set up and payments go directly to the charity's bank accounts, they have to apply, they have to onboard, they have to set up that all up. But the
Hmm.
way that that happens is because, like in your story with Hope for Haiti, you reached out and now here we are. Hope for Haiti is actually really well like active on Tiltify. I see fundraisers for it yearly, and that's really cool to think that it all started from contacting them from their website email.
Yeah. And I have more plans for next year.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Just got to plan those out and then do a whole reach out thing for content creators who anybody wants to join can join the team and help us fundraise for Hope for Haiti.
And of course, if you or any of your team members need help, I am always happy to do so.
Yes, always, always, always. And I know, like with fundraising, it can be a lot because you see a lot of campaigns out there and a lot of people who have these big goals or small goals or all these different things. And it can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes that you've seen like a lot of highs and lows of fundraising campaigns from like creators and on the creator side and the community side. But Like, what's something like people don't always realize when it comes to like having a successful campaign?
So it's kind of accumulation of things, and they're all the small little details that if you check those boxes, it goes a long way. Things like promotion on, like making a free graphic on Canva goes a long way. Using a chat command for the donate goes a long way. Using an overlay if you're live streaming goes a long way. And all of these little things, they take 2 or 3 minutes to do. Maybe creating a graphic might take a little bit longer. But if all of those don't happen on a single campaign compared to an identical campaign that does do all of those things, there is going to be a difference.
Mm,
And it's
yeah,
just
that's
the
very
little
true.
details. Everybody stresses about alerts, so let's test them and test them again. But
Yeah, that's very true.
it's the little things, the little details that sometimes get lost that, if you just kind of make yourself that checklist and check them all off, it really makes a huge difference.
I agree 100%. Like, I think it's all about that you have to start with, for me, I always start with small goals and then I eventually build up over time. So I do feel like I'm growing with my campaign, but I don't have to automatically just like go ahead, like head in first with $10,000, but like maybe do like 100 and then slowly increase it over time.
Yep. And, every fundraiser that I've spoken to about this, I say, what should I set my goal at? Your community best.
hmm
Your community may have all the heavy hitters that they see a $10,000 goal, they're going to hit it within, before you, during your going live screen. But then you also may have a community that, it may take 2 weeks to hit $100. Your community best. You know what motivates them. You know where how to incentivize them. So, what should I set my campaign goal? There is no one size fits all. And there's also no wrong way to do it. You know, you may set a $10,000 goal and raise $500. That is huge. That is exciting. That is $500 that the charity never had before. And I know that there's disappointment in not hitting those goals, but I hope that people realize that the pride of what they've done and the excitement of what they've done outweighs that disappointment of not hitting milestones or goals that you had set.
Yeah, I agree on that one part because it's very important to understand that, those are like whatever the amount of money that you've raised, that's the amount of money that charity didn't have before. So you are
Mm-hmm.
100% correct on that part, for sure. And I think there's so many like memorable and exciting moments that has happened through Tiltify. Like, what is one of the most memorable or like emotional moments like you have seen happen through your time of being on Tiltify?
So I have two campaigns that come to mind. One was Creators for Palestine.
hmm
They raised 1.5 million, I believe it was, for a few different charities that are helping in the Gaza crisis. And then the LA wildfire relief from this year, this past January. Both of those campaigns came together very quickly. They came together out of a response from some crises that are happening across the globe, and how quickly they came together, how much they fundraised. I cried at the end of both of those streams because just the amount of passion and impact, and knowing that lives are going to be better and change, and people are getting the help and the resources that they need. It's, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
I mean, I remember like seeing those campaigns like in front of me and I'm like, this is going to help so many people, and I'm just like always blown away how all people come together for one singular cause or multiple causes, and it really just like blows me out the water. I'm like, this is nice. like all I've ever wanted in my entire life is to help other people. But when I see other people helping people, I'm like, this is where I feel like the world should be going for the rest of
Hmm.
eternity. And I just feel like we're a bonded family.
Very much so. I it's an overuse, but the most wonderful word of community
Yeah.
that all the audience, all of the viewers, all of the creators, all of the staff and behind the scenes people that go into these kinds of campaigns, and then, you know, this they break these goals, they break these records. It's just such a wonderful warm feeling, as you said, to see other people helping people, and it inspires us to help other people too. And I'm going to say it again, the ripple effect, it's long going.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I think also too with like those big campaigns that really made a big impact. One, there's two campaigns that come to mind as well, like just recently, is Ryan Trahan's like
Ryan
50
Trahan's
days.
50 days.
Like
Yeah.
that was amazing because I'm a big fan of his content. He's very entertaining along with his wife. And I'm like, it's just like so cool, like what they do and like how it was done. I thought it was the most unique way to 50 states. That's a lot of states in 50 days. Like
Hmm.
it brings me back to like the movie Around the World in 80 Days for some odd reason. And I'm like, how do you go to 50 states in 50 days? I'm like, okay, sure. Go with it. Go do what you got to do, but raising over like $11 million for St. Jude, that was amazing. Like in your from your point of view, like what do you think made that campaign so like uniquely successful and powerful?
Yeah, so I think there's two sides on it. The first side I'll talk about is as a content creator. YouTube is no longer in its golden era of daily vlog styles. And
No.
this 50-day series seems nostalgic to that. It was episodic. It came out at the same time every single day. It was stylized as almost a daily vlog. And that in itself, I think, is wonderful. That needs to go in YouTube history. But from the fundraising side, St. Jude was so supportive. I feel that everyone on their team turned into yes men when it came to this campaign. That and this is funny. Of all the places that this campaign went viral, LinkedIn was one that surprised me. That a lot of brands, a lot of marketing professionals, a lot of influencer managers were saying, oh, this is really cool. We're talking about it. We should do some more like it. So I'm very hopeful that in the next coming months, coming years, we can see some of the lessons taken from Ryan Trahan's series to apply them to future campaigns, to future content, and it's really cool. It was a case study in real time, as they say.
Yeah, and it's like we all learn from we all learn from that campaign from a creator side and a fundraiser side. It's like what worked for him could also work for us, but we have to make it unique for us at the end of the day. And it's like we all get inspiration from each other, campaign by campaign. And I think he did it so well and I loved it. And
Mhm.
like I was blown away. I'm like, that is wild. So and I just think it was like really cool how he's continuing to do that even further, like using the platform for good because he has a lot of followers and he does it in like the right positive way. And it's just nice to see good content again on the platform, or at least on YouTube.
Yes,
Um,
it's always nice to see a bright, shining light of content.
yeah. And I hope like in the future that people do take that and really apply it for future campaigns down the line, whether it's the rest of this year or next year or 10 years down the line. There's always going to be something that will change the creator space forever.
For
and
sure.
it's going to be perfect. And I think honestly, with the word content creator, there's always been like this weird vibe around people who are saying content creator. That sounds weird. That sounds odd. That's not a real job, blah, blah, blah. But like, what do you think is like the biggest misconception nonprofits have when they first hear the word term content creator?
I think kind of one of the big, I'll say what nonprofits or community managers don't sometimes understand about content creators is it is a real job. It is something that they have a schedule for. I'll hear stories of, oh, this charity only reached out to me 2 weeks ahead of time that they want me to do this campaign. That's too late notice. And so I think respecting that it is a full career these days, it is a full thing with schedules. You know, people are planning, you're already planning your next Hope for Haiti. When is that? Not anytime.
Yeah,
So the
that's
idea of understanding almost the etiquette of content creation and how all that creative side works, I think respecting that and learning that would go a long way.
hmm I agree. And I think for me, the way I saw the shift, at least for me in the creator space, is it's kind of when TikTok
Mm-hmm.
really took a big boom in like 2020, 2021, that people realized like this is actually like a real thing and people are making really big names for themselves. Like the first thing that comes to my mind is like Charlie D'Amelio. Like that
Mm-hmm.
was exponentially like wild. And then of course all of like, these different content creator groups kind of happen, but it really people are realizing that creators have influence, but they are utilizing their influence with their passion. And they're
Mm-hmm.
using their passion that eventually makes them money. So, and I think ultimately down the line is that non for profits should tap into the creator space a little bit more. Like for instance, like Hope for Haiti didn't really understand what Twitch was and understand what digital like they knew digital fundraising because they've done it for years, but they didn't understand the Twitch gaming side. So I educated them a little bit more, and then we've worked together for 5 6 years now, and we all grow together, and it's all about
Mm-hmm.
that communication and that connection and willing to learn while
I,
still doing.
I'll also say there's something to be said about being a relationship and building that relationship versus just a one time transaction.
Mhm.
And I've noticed that the nonprofits and charities and communities that do build those relationships long term always end up, they may fundraise more, they may get more opportunities, and it's kind of different things like that. So, yeah, my advice to charities and nonprofits is to not treat it as a one time transaction.
Mm, I agree. And another big campaign that literally just recently happened was Mr. Beast's
Yes.
Team Water campaign. Um,
Yes.
that was wild. I was like, huh. Like, I mean, everyone knows Mr. Beast. Like, if they don't, where you been? But I literally am just like blown away when like for me it's all about helping other people and he's helping other people around the world in like a crazy wild way and raising over $12 million in
Mm-hmm.
one stream and his first ever live stream is amazing and I'm just like so proud and so like that's helping people and it's like I would love to see more of that. I would love to see more people, just continue. Like, if it was their first live stream and they want to fundraise, go for it. Have fun. I mean, he had people with him and like I think whatever makes you comfortable, if you feel like nervous to go live by yourself, go live with like your friends, your family that kind of brings you comfort. Do some trivia. And I mean, like, for example, my friend Little Simsy, who fundraises for St. Jude literally every single year and fundraised over $1 million in 1 month is like insanely amazing. She does like these Sims parent trivia with her parents, and it's always so much fun. She's done it for a while,
I
and
love her trivia with her parents every year.
it's so funny, and I just love it. And it's like when you have those people that make you feel comfortable to go live, it makes it a lot easier. And I just think it's just like so cool. And especially you can all celebrate together for that big milestone or that first milestone you've ever achieved with your community. And I think, yeah, it's all about community at the end of
It,
the day.
we can just name this episode All About Community.
Yeah, literally, it's all about community over here. Like being, it's like charity is everything. No matter
Hmm.
if you do it in person, digital, or if you do it word of mouth through flyers, it makes a big difference. No matter how big or how small your following is, or you're just getting started, you just have to do it.
You just have to get started. Like I've said, you're a hero for hitting that button of start your first campaign. You're a hero for hitting it for starting your 10th campaign. That action, that thought that you have that you want to make things better, you are a hero, and I'm going to celebrate the heck out of you.
Yes, indeed, as we all should. So for anyone that's thinking of like doing their first like ever charity stream or campaign or starting a team campaign, like where should they start and like what do you think makes a campaign stand out?
So I think looking up your resources, talking to experienced people that have done it. There's lots of YouTube tutorials out there, both from Tiltify and from experienced fundraisers talking about how to use Tiltify. There's lots of blogs, and we have a wiki. So the information is there. And as I say, information is power. The more that you are familiar with all of it, I think will go a long way. Um, and I think that just having that gumption to get past your nervousness to hit go. Some of the biggest and most unique campaigns that I've seen are a reflection of themselves. Poop Witch, who has now raised over $600,000 on Tiltify, her content could not be duplicated by anybody else, and it is wonderful. It is so uniquely her. You hear a Poop Witch fundraiser, you know that you're what you're in for, you know what to expect, and it is fun and it is crazy. Whereas your streams, your fundraising streams, are different, but they're also uniquely you. So find what works for you personally and for your community, and just kind of let it live through you, let the creativity go.
Yes, I agree. You have to put you in your campaign and the emphasis on you
Mm-hmm.
cuz literally no one can copy you, no one can replicate you because it's you are you
Mm-hmm.
essentially. And I think that's very true. That makes any campaign, anything actually stand out is like putting you first, putting you in your content. And with digital fundraising, what are some like trends are you seeing in like the digital fundraising like space that excites you, especially like anything like creators or nonprofits should be paying attention to?
Let's see. I've been seeing a lot more auctions lately, and that's been really exciting for me.
Hmm.
The idea, I've seen crazy things like a pen from NASCAR that was had some of the metal from a NASCAR car. And I want to say it was the historian of NASCAR that won the pen. I'm seeing all sorts of crazy auctions. I actually just bid on one for a friend of mine. She likes to knit and crochet, and it was Stand Up to Cancer. I want to say one of their streams, they were auctioning off a yarn bowl, and I bid on it. I think
Huh.
that auctions are so fun and I love participating in them and seeing more and more pop up in more and more unique fashions is great. I've seen one for a box of stuff, random stuff that was on their desk. The sky is the limit and I really, really love seeing it.
That is very interesting. I've seen a lot of auctions like that before, and then I also just see the comeback of telethons, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, it's not old. I mean, well, it's not new, but it's like an old thing. But it's like I kind of forget about that sometimes that people used to call on the phone and like
Mm-hmm.
donate that way. I'm like, huh. That's so nice. I mean, my
Yeah.
first introduction to that was when I don't know if you've seen the episode of Hannah Montana where Hannah Montana and this other character who was played by Selena Gomez, Mackenzie, I think the character name. Either way, they were like, of course, they were both celebrities in the show and they were doing the characters, but they were helping a charity. And I'm like, wait a minute, I forgot about telethons. People just
Yup.
call up and donate. That's
They
another way to fundraise too.
Yep, telethons, galas, silent auctions. There's a lot of wonderful ways of fundraising that are still happening. A lot of your local nonprofits that maybe they don't have a strong digital presence, but they're probably going to be having these events, these uh, galas, and everything in your local community. So they're out there, they're powerful, and it's cool to break the mold a little bit. It's cool to try new things.
Yeah, I agree. And like recently, Stand Up for Cancer did a telecast
I
not too long
watched
ago.
it and I cried.
It's always so beautiful. I even love when like celebrities and musical artists all come together. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a free concert, but also it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's just so beautiful of like how they really like their music. Also, like it feels like something else when they're
Yes.
fundraising for a
You can
charity.
feel their soul in it a little bit more.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this is like so powerful. I love when they all band together and like the LA Fire. I remember there was a live stream on YouTube, and I'm like, oh my gosh, all these different artists that who haven't performed in like so many years are coming back to do this thing and that thing. And like, this is so cool. I love this. I love the world. I love how people are literally coming together and doing it, even if it's like one day, one night, 2 hours, and it just, I don't know, it just makes me feel happy.
To see
uh
people setting aside time in their day to dedicate to these kinds of initiatives, whether they're big or small. Maybe you have a less than 20 ccv on Twitch, but you bring in a collaboration for your charity stream. It's so rewarding and wholesome, and no matter the scale, whether you're less than 20 ccv or if you are broadcast live to millions, that sense of being in it with somebody else that is also trying to achieve the same goal as you of making the world a better place. Ah, I'm gonna start crying thinking about that, how good that feels.
I know. Oh my goodness. Well, honestly, I think the way we could wrap this up, honestly, is like Tiltify has done so many things in the past like 10 years. And you're always coming out with something brand spanking new. Like, are there any upcoming like Tiltify campaigns, tools, events that you're excited about? And can you give us a little sneak peek of what it might be?
So, tools, we just released a new smart flow that if you are creating your first campaign, your 20th, however you want to do it, it is now easier. It is personalized to you, and it's supposed to make it a lot less scary and a lot more streamlined. So, very excited for that. That just came out. As far as upcoming campaigns and everything, December is right around the corner, so we're going to see some familiar favorites like Jingle Jan and whatnot.
Yes.
I'm waiting for confirmation on Thankmas. I haven't heard, or I don't have confirmation that I can share just yet on that. But a lot of your other regular holiday campaigns, very excited for them. And then also October has a lot of fun fundraisers. I know Gamers Outreach does their spectacular. I know um, I could I need to like write out a list of all these amazing campaigns one day because there's so many.
I know there's so many out there. It's like it's hard to keep track for sure. And I'm like, this is like so amazing. Like there's so many people, so many non-for-profits, creators just doing great things in the fundraising space that it's like, how can you list them all? You know?
Yep. And it's very rewarding to do my job and see and celebrate all of these amazing campaigns. And, at the end of the day, I'm just posting on social media, which is a free platform, but seeing the difference it makes is so wonderful.
It is. Well, Izzy, I would love to do some fun things that I do at the end of a podcast episode for sure with all of my guests is some rapid fire questions.
All right.
Yes. So, what is your favorite social media platform right now?
I think it would be LinkedIn.
Okay. Go to snack during a busy campaign week?
A big bowl of blackberries.
Ooh, I love blackberries. Hmm. Most use emoji when managing the Tiltify accounts.
The blue heart.
Always, because Tiltify is all blue. And one creator that constantly inspires you.
This is going to be really weird, but Doug Doug.
Hmm. Doug. Okay. And charity or cause that is close to your heart.
Lupus Foundation of America.
Okay. And dream Tiltify campaign or creator collab you would love to see.
I would love for YouTuber Sophia Nygaard to create a Tiltify campaign sometime.
Ooh, you never know. Fundraising trend that you want to leave in 2024, or I guess 2025.
Oh. Probably when it's an annual or reoccurring event, and instead of logging into an existing profile, when people create all new profiles so their fundraising achievements are not connected.
Okay. And last question, what's something about you people wouldn't guess from your LinkedIn profile?
When I was in middle school, I was part of a musical theater group that we traveled and performed all across the Southwest of the United States.
Oh my goodness, that is so cool. I never would have guessed that. Well, I learned something new today then.
Oh, it was fun times. I cherish my musical theater background, and it serves me actually quite often in my day-to-day work. So,
Well, that's lovely to hear. Well, Izzy, thank you again for being on the Hello Spring podcast. It was so much fun to chat with you for this whole hour. It flew by, lots of laughs, lots of joy, and good vibes. But where can the people find you on the internet?
yeah, so I am across all platforms at Izzy the Sweetest. If it is a pink icon profile picture that was drawn by a burrito art for a charity redeem, that is me. And please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out if you need anything fundraising wise. Discord PMs are where I respond the quickest, but you can reach out anyway. And I'm always, 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 I am honored to help out any way that I can.
Well, my friends, that is the end of today's episode with Izzy. And I want to give a huge thank you to Izzy for joining me and giving us such a great insight look to Tiltify, the creator fundraising space, and the real impact communities can have when they come together. And for me, I love charity fundraising more than anything. As you all know, if you're listening, I love fundraising on Tiltify. I love being able to help others where they need help. No matter where they are in the world, I want to be able to use my platform for good. And Tiltify has given me the opportunity to do such that. And so, if you really enjoy today's conversation and episode, definitely go ahead and check out Izzy and Tiltify all around social media. And especially if it's inspired you to make your own campaign for the first time or the 10th time on Tiltify, then go ahead and go do it. Especially if there is not a charity on Tiltify, reach out to them because then they can reach out for you to get them set up on Tiltify. Because honestly, Izzy is the best person if you need any help. And all she is trying to do is make the world a better place, one social media post at a time. So, my friends, definitely make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast and share this episode with a friend who might be inspired to start their own charity campaign. And with all that being said, I am Steven, your host for the Hello Spring podcast, and I hope to see you all and hear from you all next time. Bye!